The hand raised
Well, get this, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, this is real time service right here. What you hear in the back is the Zoom call for our planning commission meeting that's happening tonight. And one of the items on the agenda is one of the communities that is in our neighborhood, in our community, District 5, concerning Zero Estes Road. And one of the things is that when we talk about the situations and the decisions that's being made, is that they wanted to build homes. They want to build 67 homes, or townhomes, in an area, and they'll have to cut into Ravenswood and STs for a new community. The only issue is that in our comprehensive plan and the zoning, that is a circle dot that says the Corey impact area. In that Corey impact area lies this property that they want to construct on. However, per our 2021 comprehensive plan, that there is no property within a 1.5 mile radius of the rock quarry property line that no residential construction can take place without a variance being issued. So there should have been no zoning because there's been no variance approved. And in our comprehensive plan, it states that within a 1.5 mile radius, within a 3/4 to a 1.5 mile radius, any residential construction that is to take place, and even have a variance, needs to have a structural engineer sign off on it. This case was brought to the attention earlier this year. It was denied the zoning, the rezoning. So the person who was representing the builder was Michelle Battle, the Battle Law Group. So when I challenged them on the question on the variance and the rezoning, they're still required to have an environmental impact statement or environmental site assessment. And their own environmental site assessment, it stated it's not structurally sound even to build upon that land. So the Battle Law Group does no longer represent them. So they're back to present 47 single family detached homes that look absolutely identical to each other. So, and they would be for sale to one owner. Just say one owner purchased those homes identically looking just like each other. I call that single family detached apartments. And so one owner could potentially buy it and then have a 100% rental community. But going back to the preset of all of this, how is this possible? When the first step was missed, I said, if they provide the variance that they acquired to even get it zoned, let's start there. So, because they came back to want to build this in our community, and the proper steps still have not been followed. They got another attorney, and they still cannot follow this. So I brought this to our community affairs director, CDR director, Mr. Derek Cole. And as I pointed out to him, and he went back, and so now this has become a complicated case because we had to just make him aware of the steps that they did not follow. So this is a case real live here that we're hearing now that you is on, because this is what they're trying to bring into our communities. And some of them are allowed to go in. Director. And so, because I know all about the process and how it is in the missteps, but they came back again And so now that they can't build on it, then it's an AG1 property, and the future land use is through the ARC, is which we designated as green space. So it can be a park or agricultural, or they can put a farm on there, community garden or something of that nature. They can build as it is, but they cannot construct single family residential homes. But a part of our zoning out there, this other plan that says agricultural can be contain CUP, which can contain townhomes, agriculture, senior housing. But I said, how is this even possible when can't nothing be done? Because they're going by the residential classification. Can't nothing residential. Well, it's not zone commercial, so no commercial can go there. But it's going to be interesting to see what is going to be done about this, because this is going to be a blueprint going forward, particularly if you're in the rock quarry impact area, as we all are, but particularly the areas along Buffington Road. And in that impact quarry is some new condo, townhomes, apartments that has got built. It's already built and constructed, people living in there. That is not part of our city. As y'all ride down Buffington, y'all can see that development. And because that's not our city, I don't know what process it went through, but that is being constructed. But they're going to have issues in a couple of years because they're in a direct impact area of that rock quarry. And I have an aerial photo I'll send to D'Amico that I can share, but somebody has a hand raised. Go ahead.
Hey, Councilman, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Jane here.
Hey, Jane, how are you? Good.
Wonderful, thank you. So, Councilman, did anyone approve them to even think that they could have or build these homes in the area? Because you said they came back again.
Right. So this was the case early in the year, and so that we got with the community, and I told them that, I'm sure that they couldn't build in it, but they went ahead and went forward with having a community meeting in the process. And then when they went through the process, they got denied the rezoning. So they sued, and and to try to mitigate the lawsuit, they said to see if they can work things out with the community and what can be built. But the community was adamant about nothing could be built. So we found a documentation through our own comprehensive plan that of these conditions that they could not build upon. And so, hold on, I would.
Okay, and they having a community meeting on their own, is what you're saying.
Pardon me?
They're having their own community meeting over there.
No, this is our planning meeting. This is our planning commission meeting. This is the city of South Fulton planning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So what's happening is that they're bringing it up for consideration so it can pass zoning, so they can build it on something that got denied and reasonably denied because our own comp plan says they can't build it.
Well, and who's the planning people?
Our planning commission, and planning commission is made up of commissions of people that we choose. See, through the process, when they go to the builder, through the process, you got to go through a CZIN, right? So zoning, rezoning. That's the process of rezoning. I'll just say something that's on agricultural, that you wanted to build condos. That's not under agricultural, where you have to apply for a rezoning.
Right.
So it goes through that process through the CZIM. That meeting occurs. If it passed zoning, then you go to planning commission.
Oh.
And then the planning commission will depend, says, okay, they'll sign off on it or not. As it goes, does this meet and match up with our comprehensive plan? Then it will come up before council.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks for explaining all
But-
that, Councilman. I appreciate
But
it.
hold on. But before zoning or the planning, there's this little word called variance.
Right.
And if Miss Glenda Collins, is she on the line?
Yeah,
Miss Collins.
I think that's her right there. Miss Collins. Yeah, I think that's her.
Miss Collins, are you on?
Yes, how's everyone? I am here.
Oh, I'm so glad. Now, Miss Collins, since this is something that you came back and I noticed is up your wheelhouse here, can you explain to the people on the call, our kitchen cabinet, the difference between the variance and a rezoning? Because you brought this up a couple years ago that says, oh, this is very key because it can go, it's not, it seems like it's the same, but it's not the same. Could you give that, and I'm glad you're on here because we had talked about this, and so I want you to give the breakdown of that. So you have done your research on this, and could you give that explanation?
Well, let me see if I can remember my research and my writing at the time. But it is an amazing way to get around zoning. Let me see, help me out if I'm wrong. Even though it may be zoned for something else, you can request a variance and go in there to change it to what you are trying to do. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So this is how they manipulate us into putting things in their neighborhood that we do not want, or things that should not be in our neighborhood, to change it in a negative way. Are y'all there?
Right. I think that's
Right.
what he said. That's what Councilman said. Uh-huh.
So therefore, we have to let them know that we understand what a variance does.
Mhm.
It's a
Right.
sneaky way. It is a sneaky way of
Mhm.
changing the zoning.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And
And
so
then,
that, go ahead.
and this, Miss Johnson, and then Corey, I thought that they said over there on Buffalo Road, where Chick-fil-A was gonna build that senior citizen place over there, where they could not get it built because of the rock quarry. And then some of the people over there who live in some of those homes, because of the blasting, I don't know if you remember or not, some of their ceilings was falling in because of the blasting. So I was thinking that none of that was supposed to happen over there.
And not only that, they have plumbing issues. And we had the man from the city of Atlanta that came on, and I asked him if they kept a log of the time of the days that they blast. And he told us no, but they do check for damages when blasting does occur. Is that not right?
That's right.
Yep. Okay.
Correct. So,
Okay.
and that being stated in the case, this particular property in the rock quarry impact area requires both. Because you can't even rezone unless you have a variance. So you have to have a variance, rezone, and then go to the planning commission. So now in this case, you need all three. And so they don't meet the criteria of none of it. And so
Wait
what's
a
my
minute, Corey.
understanding is,
Wait a minute. You need all three of what? Say it so I can
you
write it
need the
down.
variance, you need the
Uh-huh.
rezoning, you need a variance in order even to get a rezoning hearing, right?
Okay.
And then you need to get a rezone out there, then you to go to the planning commission to see if it goes, and it goes against all of what we have in place.
Okay.
So just by that premise alone, I was unclear on why this on the agenda, why was this allowed to be brought forth? So we're here now. And our item is on the agenda. So, and because I'm listening here live, as this is going to be probably going to go throughout until 11 o'clock, so it'll probably extend beyond. But this is going to be a key ruling over here because, see, if you look at the design that the developer came with from the original proposed townhomes, it looked like he detached and reduced it down to 47, but they look exactly identical to each other. That gives me an indication that if all things look just alike, but there's single family dwellings, but it's 47 in a particular area like this one, that could potentially be 100% on a 100% rental community. One buyer could buy them all and then decide to rent them all out. And that's where we're going to with legislation that we're working on to how are we going to prevent that from occurring in our communities? Is there technically anything legally that we can do anything about that if one owner buys them and then rents them out? Because they could come to us as there are for sale properties. But if one buyer comes in and buys all that and then turns them into rental communities, what's on the books to prevent that from happening? So
Okay, but
this is key.
excuse me,
But
may I
look,
ask this? Did anyone bother to do a traffic study in that area? And will the infrastructure accommodate those additional vehicles?
So it looks like those are all the comments that I have.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Projects that would be in favor of.
Where's the traffic study? They said the traffic study out there said it would have no adverse impact on the additional traffic. I beg to differ.
Please,
We do.
Right.
yeah,
Because that Ravenswood and SC's, those dead end.
but period, bumping them all down together.
Okay, now, it was my understanding that they did not have a meeting with the entire community. They went to certain individuals because one of the individuals called someone I know and discussed it with them. So they're going to certain individuals that live in the area as opposed to having a full-blown HOA meeting because they do not have a active HOA.
But they have an active council representative. They have an
Mhm.
active leader like Mr. Lindley Collins.
I don't
And
know.
they have active people who live on the end of that street who understand everything that they're talking about. And we understand everything that we stated in our comp plan. So
Okay, well,
again,
good.
right, this is what collaboration with championships, because see, they're about to catch it. And we have somebody
Yeah.
who represents us on the planning commission who is a subject matter expert
Mhm.
and who reads and comprehends well.
Okay, great.
And so that's why I'm just like, we're going to wait. But this is a key case that is, you know, in our city, because I'm seeing it as a blueprint on, particularly if you live in this Corey area. And so when we say this is how and what that space can be utilized for, as I said, they can use it as community garden or it can be an agricultural deal, but there's nothing else that they can do. So my thing is, what are we going to do as a city? But now we know that this can come in, so we know that this is a possibility. So what can we do legally?
Mm-hmm.
To prevent from further happening or developers further coming into our communities trying to do this as a development. So that's why this
Corey,
case is
I have a
important.
question. I have a question. So is this near where Coca-Cola was up in that area? Where is
Absolutely.
the location?
No, the ST's right across Sable Chase and Sable Lynn. It's ST's,
Oh,
and you make
okay.
a right and go and Sable Lynn, yeah, they make that left. That's ST's. But the
Oh,
street right
okay.
above, right before that is Ravenwood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, and that's what Dead's in.
Okay.
So, and
And you talking about that
right,
dead end part down
we
there?
talk about, but I actually went out there and walked the property, the actual property. the topography of that property is very hilly. It's nice for hiking, but the amount of dirt that you would have to bring in to level it off to construct these homes, then you deal with the existing conditions, environmental conditions like the runoff, because you're going to disrupt the natural habitat.
Right.
Where's the runoff going to go? Who does it affect? Because in a topography, if you go down on a line item through the woods, do you know what street you come out on?
Is it Fairwood Place?
More than Creek Circle.
Oh, Lord.
Oh yeah, so see, get there. So this is what I'm trying to tell you is this. See, I walked the entire property, look through the woods.
Wow.
This is coming out. So this has a direct effect. And the neighboring community is Sable Glen. I know Sable Chase. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an issue. So the environmental impact as far as the runoff is where that's going to go.
Ooh. And we have enough runoff down the hill over here by the school.
When they constructed that school, that we had a lake.
Yeah.
That runoff, of course, that lake over there, the dam, more pressure on that is just, it's faulted. And now there's no more.
Right.
So this does have an impact.
Ooh-wee.
We have historical data that says so. Through the constructions of existing buildings. And then you see those, it goes back to the detention ponds, it goes back to like the size of houses that's off a benchmark that, you know what I mean, that, you know, Fulton County used to maintain and don't maintain no more. We can see that it's eroding. So yes, it's severe implications. So that's why we're going to this, as we're going to see a live outcome, because we are in, and by the way, we are in the rock quarry impact zone. I feel the tremors every night, do y'all?
Yes, we do.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes.
Like a little earthquake.
In the daytime too.
Absolutely.
And some people have received cracks from that.
I have them in my house. As you can see, the air voids, as I'm in the process of winterizing my house while we speak and things of that nature, because the cracks out there in the winter, because, you know, it was a little bit chilly last night. Did anybody receive a cold to anybody last night? Today, did you feel a draft through any of your windows and your air doors? This and that third?
Yes.
Well, settling, the house naturally settles. Why Corey gives a little shift. It gets like that deeper and deeper every year. That's wow.
Well, one of the neighbors had a problem with cracks, and she had to have extensive work done.
Well, several ones in this area, like down there on Pepper Beach, they had to have their entire house redone because it was selling.
Right. And mine too. So I mean, I am directly affected by this. I have to look into my house as well. So anytime you can be inside your house and hear your neighbors across the street talking, you have to understand, like, it's voids, air voids. And so, yeah, but you know.
I just don't see how they can do that.
And that's what we're trying to prevent.
Okay. Councilman?
Yes.
Jane Williamson. Okay, so just getting off that subject for a little bit. So a few days ago, I was riding along Roosevelt Highway, and I saw where they were tearing down the BB over there on Roosevelt Highway in Washington Road. I think that was Thursday. So they have torn down that building.
Yes, ma'am.
And I haven't been back over there to see how they can clean it up yet. So, anywho, that's number one. Number two, okay, my sister said they cleaned it up. So, and number two is they put some kind of little black sand or something in that hole on Fairwood and 29 to try to fill that pothole there. So I haven't rode back by there to see if the rain washed that away.
Oh, I
And
can
number-
respond to that.
Okay, honey, go ahead.
Okay, when it rained, there was water in the hole. And therefore, whatever they put in it with those trucks going across the track has no longevity. In
Mhm.
addition to that, there was an incident at the railroad track once again today.
Oh, what kind of incident was that with the tractor trailer?
They told me it was a truck and a car
Oh,
and everything was blocked.
oh boy.
So I have tried to contact David Scott,
Good
who
luck.
is our representative,
Mhm.
without any results.
Good luck.
Right, to see what our recourse is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I know one council person was supposed to meet with Congressman Scott last Thursday. I'm gonna see
Okay.
if she did, and
Did-
see how we can get in touch with you.
Did he show up?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I told her let me know if he showed up, because some people had all kind of rumors going around about Congressman Scott. So I told her let me know if he showed up.
Well, we have not seen or heard from him in many months.
No. Okay, well, I'll keep working on that. And number 3, Councilman, there is some homelessness that has started on Stacks Road. There is a
The
pop-up tent. And so I just want you to be aware of this before it gets out of hand. That it's a pop-up tent there on a crate or on some tires or something like that. So it's right there at Stacks Road and Fairwood. Just so you know.
I'm completely made aware. I've been by there and I seen this tent with a bicycle and the whole
Yep.
gamut.
Oh, I saw that bicycle. I wondered
Yeah.
who left that bicycle there.
That's it. That's right.
I'm very aware.
And some more dumping over there. So just want y'all to be aware.
I am very aware.
Okay, that's it.
Wow.
Okay.
We do have a homeless, I guess.
Mhm.
We have a homeless problem on the whole South region, but I'm trying to figure out how can we as cities come together and provide some kind of shelter, and because we talk about the Atlanta's problem, but
Right.
there's something, and I believe that this is the onset, and I think that there's something that we can do about it now, to plan for it. And it's not going to be no fix in the next 6 months, but we can have something, because between 8 cities, a centralized location, place where we can look after the least of these
Right.
and have a place for them to be.
Well, they can
And I
build
think
all
we
these
should all come
houses.
together
They
to
can
address the problem that we're all facing and come together collaboratively, and with resources that are available to address this.
I think
Because
so.
we have topics on this about addressing homelessness. So there's actually, so it is something that is across, so much so that we have topics at GMA on this. So this is things that we're all encountering. So this is one of the things that, talking to other colleagues just throughout other cities, is how can we, or how will we address this together? But we have to have a will to address it together to make it happen. And so we must start as that point, because but something has to be done, because right now it is cold outside. And I do think that, on the colder nights, warming centers, but where's the warming center around here? What can be utilized as a warming center? I would love for them to open up Burdett Gym as a warming center, because they have showers and things of that nature. But we're going to see what that's going to lead like, or what it's going to be, and what are we as a city going to do about it as a whole.
But my thing is, how would you accommodate that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's gonna take a lot. You gotta have a lot.
That's why it's in discussion that we have to discuss and how the best way to accommodate, or the best way to approach it. But we can't just kick it down the road and keep denying that it doesn't exist.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, they can keep building these warehouses, they can find somewhere for these people to go. They got some vacant buildings and stuff around here, you just gotta have a plan like with everything else, you know?
Right.
What road?
However, has anybody checked out the agenda tomorrow? We have the zoning, the work session, and then the council meeting.
What?
Let's see. Let's see.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, and it starts at 4 o'clock, and it's going to be at Welcome Hall. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, also Councilman Reed.
Well, we said thank you, Lord. Good. Why? It's gonna be at Welcome Hall.
Yes,
Cause it's closed.
yes.
Hey, Councilman, okay, I see Sheila hand up, but Councilman, I saw on the news a few minutes ago before we came on, that's why I was a little late coming on. Where all this dumping is going on, it's not really us, but it's over there in Carmelita, but it kind of like butts into Union City and Oakland or somewhere over there.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You saw that too?
Yes, and what they plan to do is use the fine money to clean it up. The park
That's
is
right.
located in the city of South Fulton. But
That's
they
right.
they got to check the map to see if it's in the city.
Yeah, cause Union City gonna say it ain't there.
Right.
Of course they would until it's a warehouse want to be built.
Then it's theirs.
Mhm. Yeah, so.
So
and,
right now, since it's, people have dumped on it, it does not belong to Union City, so they say.
Yeah, they say it's South Fulton. Mhm. And it's supposed to be on the planning, it's supposed to be on the agenda for tomorrow. Do you see that on there?
I'm looking for it.
Mhm.
Right. Meanwhile, okay, Sheila, you had your hand up. What did you have? Find out something.
Yeah,
Something.
yes, I did. Good evening. Someone just texted me a question, said, ask Corey about the speed monitoring signs going up. Ask if they are just reminders of the speed you're going or if they're using them for tickets.
They're reminding people of the speed limit, just to say slow down. And so, but then, as also to a premeditative measure that, the blinking lights and things of that nature is to slow down, as knowing that you are approaching through a school zone, because you go there too fast, you will be ticketed.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hey, here's the warning, slow down. But if they keep going, well, they didn't heed to the warning. So.
But let me say this, one of the most frightening things about it is when you see these signs and you slow down, especially on a 2-lane road, and the people that are behind you, they either ride your tail or go past you.
Mhm.
Let them go past you.
Yeah.
I know, but.
And if they get the ticket, then they went past you, and then get it. Because if the camera picks them up going past you, and they go and break the speed limit, that's going to be 2 citations.
Mhm.
So after
Theoretically, it could
school,
be.
another question is, after school closes, does that mean that the speed limit does not apply?
No, the speed limit applies. The camera's not supposed to be on giving tickets during that time, but the speed limit still applies.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So, anybody else on the agenda? Anything related to the agenda? The alcohol ordinance or the alcohol?
So alcoholic beverage ordinance related hours of operation. You go
That part right
change
there.
the hours.
Right.
Change the hour from what to what? To
In
open
order the
before
efforts to
noon
clean up
on
Old
Sunday?
National, the efforts over there to clean up Old National implemented the last pour be stopped for, it was until 3 o'clock
Yes.
to move that down to 2 o'clock. At
Oh,
3 o'clock, they will close at 4, but now at 2 they will close at 3. The last pour will be at 2. So that's been
okay.
implemented about a little over 2 years. In 2 years, that hour difference makes a difference.
Mhm.
So they want to propose it back to 3 o'clock. Now,
We talking about AM or PM?
okay,
AM.
right, because there's no stop at 2 p.m. for because that's when they start pouring. The AM to it, they want to go back to 3 a.m. from 2 a.m.
Okay. Mhm.
But when we initially talked, I was just like, okay, there was conditions in place because the difference that makes that hour does make a difference. But see, I believe in paying into a system because see that attracts a different crowd. That it does just attract that 1 hour. It attracts different elements. Overall quality of life, overall cost to our department. I'm waiting on the stacks before I even make the statement, really. But it's just my belief that I want to be able to factually show the difference between those calls before and after, right? At when it was 3 o'clock, now when it was 2 o'clock. But going back to 3, it is going to bring something else, and I just am not inclined to it because there were some conditions like the owners had to meet that they had to have 2 police officers on staff for each one of those establishments that wanted to stop the pour at 3 o'clock till 1 hour after they close. So they would have our police officers there till 5 a.m. In other words, if they stopped the pouring at 3, they close at 4, and our police would have to be there on site till 5 till the parking lot was empty. And I
Now
thought
they
about that and I
hiring
said,
these police?
huh?
They hiring these police themselves or this taxpayer money?
No, they would hire the police out of they would hire the establishment would hire the police.
Oh, okay.
But my thing is I started thinking about it and they got what they call a tax by the drink. I.e. a pour tax.
Mhm.
So for every drink that they pour, they tax as 3% sales tax on the everything else. But that 3% goes towards police out there as in for safety and safety enhancements. Well, if you have that 3% tax, pour tax by the drink, technical definition, then that can yield a lot of revenue for the city for public safety for these areas to handle any increase or handle anything public safety related for any time or anything out there, basically for our constituency, to keep our constituency safe. But let me give you an example of also what it could be used for. Just say somebody comes from Old National, makes a right on Jerome Road. They go down the curve over there, they hit the steep curve, they're going at a speed they can't control it. They lose control and they jump the curve and they run over this through a fence or through a brick community sign. And they get out of the car, they run. The car is magically reported stolen. Who's left holding back, fixing the sign on the fence for that community?
The homeowner, right?
But in this case, right, it would be out there, come out from that fund. Because I remember there was a case like this on several communities around here, and the car had to do it, and the community had to pay for it. Well, instead of community paying for it or their insurance, it would be coming from that fund that comes out of this tax. That's one of the things that it could go for, or could be used for. Because
So
it's
would there be a lot of red tape involved in getting the repairs done?
I mean, there's things that will have to be worked out, like for that process. But instead of going through the insurance company, it can go through the pilot through the fund, and but it's a legitimate because if somebody gets out there and run, I mean, I'm not gonna say they're guilty, but I'm gonna say the perception of them being guilty of something is there because they left the scene of accident.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know, but you wouldn't know what it is. But I'm just saying that that's something that a fund that could be utilized for. You know what I mean? And then to put a safety like that guardrail that's coming over there off of Old Bill Cook.
Yes.
Yeah, Old Bill Cook and Red Oak. That'd be installation of the guardrail because you know what I mean, as a safety precaution.
So is that an expense to the city?
No, it's a revenue to the city. It's expense to the owner of a bar who
No,
doesn't want
no,
to
no,
afford.
the guardrail.
Oh, right. Well, we're trying to work on that through Public Works and through our transportation. We're gonna have him back on in a week or two to speak on that as well. So, but yeah, that's through Public Works, and we can get that. But at the same time, if we have a fund like that, that can keep Public Works can keep in their budget that unnecessary expense that can come out there from a new budget, thus enhancing and giving more finance to another project that needs it, like connecting a sidewalk that's 10 feet, has a 10-foot gap, things of that nature. You know what I mean? So there's all kind of ways you can do it. As things be flushed out, particularly through if that was to happen. But that's what's on the deal, and I has my name on it, but they're coming with conditions, and I'm just, you know, I'm not amenable to it without the conditions because we know what it's going to bring. Well, I just feel like I know what it's going to bring, and not everybody agrees with it. Not everybody, never every restaurant agrees with the going back to 3 a.m. Sure, that will benefit them financially, but you increase the safety risk. So that's on there.
Mhm. Well, I do see there are a lot of places applying for liquor alcohol license on here. But what I want to talk about now, I see there's a resolution to approve the distribution of the lost funds, and also you plan to vote on the solid waste, citywide solid waste service.
Yep. And Waste Pro to recommend Waste Pro.
Yes.
And Waste Pro has two subs, Reliable and Latham. And so they meet the criteria and they're going to work the deals out necessary out there to the contract. So this is the thing that, you know, worked hard on, worked for extensively. It was my colleague's resolution. But when I came in, I you know, wanted to revive that back because sanitation is one of the things that we definitely needed to address. You know, one city, one service, one price. And so, and I believe in it and that we should move forward. And with the hopes in the years to come to roll that in-house. So we have our own sanitation department. So,
Okay.
but yes, that's there.
And one other quick question is, you're going to terminate the intergovernmental agreement with South Fulton Development Authority? Why is that? And do we not need them?
The intergovernmental agreement as it is to prevent our staff from being a part of the development authority who was not getting adequately compensated because you know that was using our resources, development for like our clerk's office, and you know those meetings and things of that nature taking place. So it's just removing that intergovernmental authority due to the fact that they don't even have the members to make a quorum, so they can't even function because over 6 of them they resigned. So they have 3
Okay.
members.
Okay. So what is there a resolution to that? Is to create some other development authority, or we will not have this authority to service the city of South Fulton?
Oh, the authority still exists because it has a bond deal with the medical building on Old National. So the authority still does exist. but the authority will be revamped as it needs to be. But we do have the South Fulton Downtown Development Authority, but that operates on the premises through the East and West Side TAD, Tax Allocation District. And I reasonably to assume our Economic Development Director um, has a plan to restructure both of those and probably into one authority. So, but he would have to speak more to that subject matter expert. But I would have reasonably assumed that the development authority is going nowhere, but it's just being restructured and revamped is
Okay,
something that, but not utilizing city resources to do so. It's something that I just reasonably assume that that's going to happen because it's not like we can get rid of it. It's not like it's going to dissolve.
okay. And another thing is, so Fulton County has a development authority, and from my understanding from one of the speakers, that their development authority overrides the South Fulton Development Authority. Is that right?
Well, the Fulton County Development Authority is all of Fulton County, and they own land throughout the entire county, which lies in all cities, and they can pretty much build what they want to on the sites that they own. So it's not supersede our development authority, but they have authority over the land that they own to construct uh, the things that they want to construct or build within the zoning that they have of that area.
But it would still require taxpayers' input who reside in that area, right? Is that
Not,
correct?
not necessarily.
Okay, thank you. I hope everybody heard that.
Oh yeah, and get this, and check this out. So much so, we're gonna go ask them that same question and get the subject matter expert of the authority on that to answer it on record. To say is what can that be? Because we had a case about that. What was 2 weeks ago, where it was in District 1 said they got the owner of the property to rezone it to a certain zoning that was on that there where they could put apartments on it, but they went back to the zoning to it as single family homes, right?
Yes.
They said, but the owner of that property, they got the owner to go back and do that before they constructed. The owner of that property was the Fulton County Development Authority.
Oh,
That part.
wow. Okay.
So you see,
Interesting.
so this, I mean, that's just a fact, right? So it's like, and you've had to get it rezoned. And we had somebody on the call who was in like opposite position that says, "Oh, to set the precedent." Well, if an owner wants to rezone it, what the community wants to rezone it like in the future, I mean, would y'all not want that same option and ability over here?
Of course we would.
Absolutely,
Of course we would.
absolutely, without fail.
Okay. Yes.
Without fail, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So, yes,
Oh,
indeed.
well, thank you, Corey, for all this information. I hope we can remember some of it.
Well, this is being recorded, and we do put this all on YouTube. So get this, even if you can't remember, why remember when you can write it down, or why remember when you can record? Roll tape.
I know, that's why I take notes, try to. All right.
Absolutely. So this
Um,
this is one of these things that's why I say that we have open and honest conversations, and so that's why we bring on subject matter experts. Because see, I'm a human, I'm fallible. Like I could be absolutely wrong, but we get those technical experts in here to answer those questions, so they can be factual. We just try to bring the facts. I don't like to offer opinions because see, we can argue that all day long.
okay, let's go to something else. The City of South Fulton zoning ordinance text amendment to update short-term rental and rooming houses regulations. Let's discuss that for a second, and I'm listening.
Okay, well, that
We're
is my
listening.
colleague's legislation. Right, we're listening. That's my colleague's legislation. And I want to get the update as they said they found the legal loophole jargon to close on how we're going to address that. And so, have y'all read through that ordinance all the way? I have not. Honestly, I have not read through it all the way. I started, but that's going to be an interesting read tonight because, see, I want to know how, after I hear this planning deal of how we're going to address that because friendly amendment is, because when I read that couple, that's what I hear tonight. I may have a friendly amendment to that to add on to it, so we can address all of this and couple it all in one ordinance. And so I have not read all. Has anybody read all the way through that?
Where's the ordinance number? Is it on the website?
Tamiko,
Yes, sir.
do you have the full ordinance of that where it reads through?
I'll pull it up.
If you can pull up and bring that on screen, please. So let's find out. And so, because I'm interested in that as well. So how are we go? Because this is something that has been a topic for months and months and months. So,
Oh, yes.
you know, as I was riding up Fairway today, up on the left-hand side, that new constructed house, they had some people over there started to stop by and asked them, is this going to be a rooming house or just a single-family residence? Oh, and by the way, our new Parks and Recs director started today, Mr. Tenard, a guy who has been here. And on December the 13th, we are going to have the meeting in person. The Monday, I think it's the 12th. I think that's Monday, the 12th. So we'll have this meeting in person. That will be our last council meeting of the month on the 13th and things of that nature. So we will have this meeting in person at Burdett Community Room. So I do want to let you guys know that. So
Okay.
and yes, and so look forward to good things. And so we have. Oh, is Jelon on this? Jelon on? Did he come on, Tamiko? Jelon, are you on?
No, he did not get a chance to come on, but I can go ahead and start going through the announcements while I'm pulling up the website for you. I mean, pulling up the information. So for those of you who did not get a chance to get one of the Girl Scouts baskets of food, please let me know if you want a box, and we can get it to you. So we do have a couple of boxes left over from last Saturday. The next thing is this Saturday is the Jelon Kendrick presents the city team annual turkey giveaway. And it will be at the Burdett Gym between 9 to 4 p.m. 200 turkeys, first come, first serve. And if you have any kids, they're doing a free basketball clinic for the youth league participants, 12 to 1:30. So it will be a drive-through. So the police will be doing the traffic to absorb getting that handled.
You have to sign up for it?
You do not have to sign up. You just have to come drive up to get your turkey, but it's first come, first serve.
Okay,
Okay.
that's Saturday.
So the timeline says it's 9 to 4. However, once they're gone, is over.
Right.
And so, go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody had a question. The next thing is Fulton County is having a magistrate court of Fulton County, and Chief Magistrate Judge Cassandra Kirk presents Magistrate Court 101. And it is a free clinic, limited legal services to people with cases in magistrate court in Fulton County. And they're on different dates and different locations. That's gonna you'll see it in the newsletter, but it includes small claims, warrant applications, and garnishments, so that you can talk to licensed attorneys, law students, or other staff, for individuals to ask questions about it and ask for help navigating their case, completing forms, and understanding court procedures. So that's the gist of that coming. And then we will be having Starting in January, we'll be having third Tuesdays, January, February, and March, we'll be having the police come out to do community safety training. So that flyer will be coming out. And is it December 17th? Is the Outlaw Classic coming, Councilman Reeves?
So what did you say? Say repeat what
The Outlaw Classic is coming.
Oh, you have no idea. Let me just say this: patience is a virtue, right? You hear that all the time. You think this thing, and so you do things, and all I'm saying is this, but you feel like it's from what you hear from the community and what you do. It's not your own thing, but sometimes you just do things that, I guess you could call them placeholders until you have the right team come along. Because I always tell people, I don't need everybody around me. I just need the right people, because it's a mindset, right? And so, when you try to do scale, it's a beautiful thing when things get orchestrated in a way, and then certain things happen because the right team is not in place. But when the right team comes along, you just know it, because and I'll say the right team is the people who they want excellence, they strive for excellence, because excellence and mediocrity cannot occupy the same room, and so one's got to go. And so it's an exciting day, because things that should be naturally should be. You shouldn't have to fight that hard for it, because it just should be completely organic, because it's just something that is representative of who we are, right? Particularly from areas in which a legacy has been built, established, and to be carried on. And so, that being said, is the Outlaw Classic is I had to fight for this 2 years, but got it back on there. And now that the originators of the classic are back together, and so I just look for a spectacular event. And let me say this, and as I look for all of our parks now to have ample amount of programs and utilization for the community around it, I think that we are on the right track, particularly in that area, to move forward. So for me personally, the Outlaw Classic is the beginning of this, as it's the end of the year deal. But as I stepped away from doing any events, and so, but have the influence to turn them over to Parks and Recs, I think that they are now in great hands, and the meaning behind it will be significant as what it was designed for. And so, I just look forward to the future. But as
which agenda item were you trying to get me to pull up?
That one right there was this is the wait, not the building inspection division.
This is the work session, or you want me to go to the regular one?
No, the council agenda.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pull that one up.
It's number 11.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The short-term rental.
Yes.
The
Commissioners, just so I'm clear while we're waiting, does anybody else have a question for the applicant? Just so we utilize our time. I think if everyone's finished, that's fine. We'll just wait. Just want to make sure.
I have a question. On
This is Commissioner Williams. On this, the site plan shall be in general conformity with the conceptual site plan dated November the 3rd, 2022. That was just a couple days ago. Where is this conceptual site plan? Is it available online?
Commissioner, the conceptual site plan is the plan presentation.
Okay. So, okay. Because I was just looking at this date and I was like, was something revised recently or something? Okay, I understand that.
And as part of the presentation.
Am I going too fast for you to read it?
I just see the
The applicant.
like you have to hit the button so it will bring up the actual
Oh, I see it. You don't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't see it.
Oh, I'm going slow. I'm thinking you see it.
Yeah, the other screen.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me pull it up again and see if I can get you to see it.
From 32.
And meanwhile, happy belated birthday, Tamika.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's right. And did you miss us on your vacation?
I
She was on special
sure
assignment.
did.
She was on special assignment.
Oh,
And so
Yeah, I was on
and
special assignment.
and her job was not to do absolutely no work. Like, you know what I mean? It's like cause she worked so hard and diligent, like, you know what I mean? She deserves the day off. I was hoping she was gonna leave the country so that she couldn't get no phone reception, right? So but however, you know,
And what's hilarious, how about I still ended up coming to the office on my birthday?
Yeah,
I'm sure you did.
so I'm just saying
Mhm.
dedication, right? Now get this. Now hold on, before y'all even think anything, I didn't ask her.
He
And so
did.
I told her to completely stay away. I will handle everything.
He
And
did.
so as you know,
We had a Dr. Bombay call from another councilman to please come up there. It was an
So-
emergency. So I
Okay.
was
Okay.
Can y'all see the ordinance
Yeah,
stuff now? Okay.
Okay, and you took the call. So now on number 3, it says to allow room and houses uses and following, and it says to regulate the number of occupants. What does that mean?
The regulator means how many people will be
I
able
know,
to
but
live in there.
how can we control that? But
prime example, okay, this section 2, to allow short-term rental uses. Wait, hold on, check this out. In section 2, to allow short-term rental uses in the following zoning districts: AG1, R1 and R2, larger lot coverage areas, and R6. TRA, A through L, and CUP. That are similar in character to multifamily rental dwellings to regulate the number of occupants. The case that we're hearing tonight, so this is what I'm trying to say is like, I want to hear this in, then I'm gonna go this, but let's just prove it. I'm just gonna tell you why is this in section 2, and what we're hearing on this planning meeting is AG1 zoning, but it has a designation of CUP. I don't know why that is. A couple of them, but townhome residential with senior housing. And they're all similar in character to multifamily rental dwellings. Mind you, I call them single family detached apartments that look similar in like in construction and build, right? And to regulate the number of occupants. So remember I told you it could be all 100% rental community? Looks like it could be. This will give that precedence to that becoming a rental community of the CUP, because AG1 that can fall under that CUP zoning. That's why I'm saying that this is significant and things of that nature is how we're going to address that, because see, to make sure that this just stays AG1 out there and it can no longer be CUP and any of these other deals, but still, because AG1 is agricultural, so it could not be, nothing could be built on that. Pig farm could go there, but right, and so, but that's important, people.
Right.
And this, what we're trying to do here in the short-term rental out there, you know, conflicts a little bit on that section 2. if we got to do this and then restrict this. So now we got to go to a restriction of this and spell it out and say restricted to the uses. See, that's what we have to do now based on this, because it allows short-term rentals. Hey, this is only AG1 with restrictions to be used for this. Now we got to legally go through that process. So that's how some things can directly affect. This is why it's important for this is why this is a first read, and this is why you have first reads and things of that nature. And y'all are looking at a real life case of something that we got to now deal with, because of this will affect our community right here as a whole, right here on Buffalo Road, with the property that's on the planning commission's meeting tonight, right? And we're doing this in real time. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be very interesting. This is real case study here. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, but I just wanted to point that out.
Hey, Councilman. Okay, I'm sorry, Jane here again. Before I get off the call.
Jane, you say that and do that all the time, right? So go ahead, Jane Williams. She's the official, unofficial District 5 street reporter that she brings the street news live as she was on and just says, no, working and not working. She will record that building being torn down. So we love and appreciate Jane Williams. And so thank you so much. Like, because get this, these are what we have is, me, we, and so we established the fact. And so, right.
And I just want to remind everybody that, election is coming back up. It is not over. Okay.
Who?
It is not over. The election.
Oh, absolutely. Explain to us about that election, Jane.
Explain it. To my what happened?
Okay. So check this out. Why this right here? Because all other races now, there's only one Senate race in the United States of America that's going on. That's key. And where's that taking place?
Georgia.
And who's in that?
Warnock.
And who's the other guy?
I don't know. Don't even
because we need a runner, not a walker.
Not a walker.
We need a runner. If anybody ever heard Jamal Bryant's preach in the pulpit, very interested out there, very passionate.
Yeah, we need a runner.
I'm going to go here tonight because that always get me fired up. I tell you, good preaching get me fired up out there.
Yes. So everybody, please tell your mama and your daddy and everybody, get back out there and vote.
But why is it so important though? What is
tell you why it's important. It's important because of the Senate control in Washington, D.C. It's still more, it's very important. So with Senate control, that means, you're talking about judges, you're talking about which, for a while, do y'all remember when President Obama was the president, they kept him from putting even just nominating a judge. Hey, you see, so that's important. When you talk about appointments and different things that will go to committees and stuff, because things can fall through the crack or fail if it doesn't get through the committee, then it definitely can't get to the president's desk. So you need the Senate to help you to get that passed, which if we don't have Warnock now, they talk about the election deniers. So, but everybody who was an election denier in the U.S. did not get elected. Well, except for Georgia, we had 1 or 2 to get in down here. But anywho, so the Senate race is very important. And also Congress, not Congress, but the House, whoever controls the House is also important on getting certain things passed. It's just like the student loan. President Biden had agreed to, give us certain money on the student loan. Well, now that student loan is on hold. But if we have control of the Senate and major control in the House, then we can probably still get that student loan passed. So it's just politics. But we need to get Warnock in. So I will hope everybody get back out there and vote. And that's mine.
Right. But let me say this is that as far as the student loans, That's the student loans are on hold for people who are just trying to apply and get through it. But for the people who have already applied and got their student loans taken care of, that is not retroactive and going
Oh,
back and
no.
taking
Oh,
away.
no, they're
Exactly.
done. Then
So exactly. So thanks to Facts to Thrive and all they have done out there for me, that deadline out there of October 31st and helping along the people throughout the city. And so it would not affect the people who was helped by that, who to me, you can calculate that probably is the effect of it was millions of dollars saved to people in and around this ecosystem and throughout from their bandwidth. And
And I
so
think
we want to thank that for
Yeah.
that hard work and dedication of meeting that need. But also too, the count is 50 to 49. Her Warnock winning will be a 51, and we will have the
but
majority of the Senate,
51,
and would not have to have Kamala to be the tiebreaker as she been for this past time as in the tie Senate, right? So, and there's only one race and this is only one race that they can focus on. And you can best believe the Republicans are putting everything they possibly can and convincing them to come and forget about the person, but we need this seat because in 2 years we're going back to the presidency, and then we can flip the Senate
That's
and the
right.
House, and they can have the trifecta again in government. Now they got the Supreme Court arm of it, and just think about the implications of that.
That's right. No.
So they got a full deck, stacked house. A royal
Thank you for
flush.
bringing that up. They, yes, you're correct. Remember there was 2 student loan situations. So the one that we were reminding everybody to apply for is not on hold.
It's not
at
on
all.
hold. That's right.
That to help them remove their whole student loan forgiveness, and the
That's
public
right.
service loan forgiveness, that is not affected by the hold.
That's
That is specifically the 10, 20,000 Biden one on the balance of your student loans. The one to help forgive the whole thing is not on hold.
That's
Nobody
right.
got a problem with that one.
Mhm.
But
Right. So because that's one that facts that I've been helping eloquent through the people in our community that came, even the ones came on us call and did it. So they actually was talking about extending that, and those are the things that bring this to point is smoke and mirrors, right? And so they'll tell people that makes and get people like, oh well, and they might have been getting ready to go to the one that is not affected by it, but they hear that on the news, which is breaking news all over the place, because they don't tell you, oh, the other one out there is not affected. But people stop in the process. And so, because that's what they think, because it's designed that way. And so the folks need to know that, steadfast is, that's the intent. They want people to stop doing it. They don't want people to, be out of debt because, they'll be indebted. So we have to pay attention to the things that are going on out there, and so we're going to only stay focused on the things that actually keep on helping us. We'll acknowledge the ones they say, but we're not going to give that too much oxygen because that give people a false hope when they actually still have hope, right? And so to get their student loans forgiven, it's just another way. As my granddad and them all say, more than one way to skin a cat. And so where there is a will, there is a way.
Mr. Kendrick has joined on.
Mr. Kendrick, man, I tell you, brother, thank you for coming on. Please tell us about this here. Tell us about your foundation and then tell us about what you got going on this Saturday.
Hey, everybody. This is Jelon Kendrick. This Saturday, we're doing a turkey drive for we're going to give out about 200 turkeys to families that are in need because we know that turkeys are, just kind of hard to come by this year. We're also going to do a free basketball clinic for the youth where we're going to have April Sykes, who was from the LA Sparks, come out. We're going to have Marcus Beans, who's a NBA trainer, myself, who I play professional overseas, and just a couple other people come out. We're going to give out free T-shirts. We're going to have some hot plates and stuff that we'll be able to give out. We're going to have a few turkeys on the grill. So we're going to give out little turkey slices. We're planning on teaming up with Miss Mumford to donate turkeys to the City of South Fulton Fire Department so that she'll, whip up turkeys like she do every year, cook them and, whatnot, and give those out to the community or to the fire department. And we plan on giving out some turkeys to a couple of our elder community that may not be able to leave the house, you know, so we plan on giving out about 25 turkeys to that demographic as well. And as far as my nonprofit, we basically just, we're just really big into mental health, vocational skills, understanding that, financial literacy, all that wrapped into like a sports atmosphere, just because I am a basketball player from the city of South Fulton, grew up in Hillendale and College Park projects, and Burdett is my, you know, is my home. I take a lot of pride in it. And so I just want to continue to keep building us, you know, the city of South Fulton with different programs and stuff that, and, you know, just give us some youth, you know, some youthful energy and, you know, some new ideas. So that's what we got coming up this Saturday. So I hope to see you all, you know, maybe pop out and say hi.
And then what's the name of your organization?
The Kendrick Youth Empowerment Program, and our website right now is ftcfy.com.
Absolutely. And repeat that again. You can put that in the chat, your name there, so folks can go look it up.
Okay, got
And
you. No problem.
as just remember this is out there the past, present, and the future. And so he definitely represents the future, and future giving back to the youth through the program and through what he does. And so he's committed to the process. And I think that along the bumps and the bruises along the way, I tell you, patience is a virtue. And so when you try to do things right, things come at you in hurdles. But it's just a story that you just stay with it, to have a will to survive and overcome hurdles one at a time. And so, but you stay the course and you stand tested as that will come, trials will come, but it's how you handle it and how you get through it is what you get to. And so we appreciate this young man and all that he's done and what he represents. And I support this program fully, and do come out and see it. And then, you know, if you know any youth that want to be a part of his program, just go on his website, see how they can do that. And, you know, let's build within, educate within, construct within, mentor within. And so I love it. And we'll be there and see you Saturdays. As I go to the LLC, and I'm coming back just for this event. I was going to be going on Sunday, but I'm coming back for this. And so, because I think this is important out there to the community, what it represents. So I hope everybody can make it out if we can. Oh, and then on Thanksgiving Day, with Ms. Mumford out there, I will be delivering some turkeys to the fire stations that are around, and they're going to do this in combination with the police. And so if you are and anybody is available, let us know if you want to be able to deliver one to a fire station. Just let us know and we'll put you in contact. And Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for the ability to give. So, and I appreciate all y'all. Well, it is now 7:52. We are a little past time, but I think that it's all right. I'm going to stay on this planning call and then see the outcome. And if y'all have the ability to join or whatever, you know, just go and just hear it out. As in all what you learn, I hope you got something out of tonight. If anything, got educated on something that is factual to our community, what directly impacts us. But whatever impacts us, remember, it does impact the city as a whole. And so we are part of a whole, and we will certainly be doing our part. Again, thank you all for taking time out of your day, your schedule to join us tonight. I appreciate you.
Okay, wait a minute. Is that planning call on Zoom?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
No, I think it's part of the YouTube, City of South Fulton.
YouTube.
Like,
No, it's Zoom. No, it's a Zoom meeting.
oh, it is Zoom. Oh,
Well,
then I need to put the
don't you
link in
need
there.
a ID address?
Well, let me tell you. Let me do this. Hold on, Tamika. What I'm going to do is, can I send
Post
it
it
to
in the
you,
chat,
Tamika? Well,
or you want me
I'm
to text?
gonna send it to you so you can post it in the chat. And I just want to make sure that, you know,
Okay.
we all get as
Okay.
you're
While you are
the
doing
general.
that,
I'm sharing it right now. Go ahead. While I'm doing it, go ahead.
while you're doing that, can I just ask everyone to talk to their homeowners association and to find out, are they putting the directory together of who all the house owners are and getting the emails to and phone numbers to keep in touch with the people in their homeowner association or in their neighborhoods? And also, are they getting the information to be a part of these community calls and community events? And invite them to come out and get on these calls or sign up to get the information, because we don't think that everybody is making sure it makes it to everybody. And we also don't know that when they see stuff online or next door or whatever, is anybody saying, hey, make sure you're on the call, come on out. So if I can get everybody to help make our meetings bigger to people to get an understanding instead of just commenting, we would love to make sure everybody is included and gets to have their comments heard.
Okay, so what we'll do, we will get permission from the homeowners to give out their email address.
Right, you don't have to give it to us. We just want each homeowners association to get a directory of their homes and their contacts, so that there could be an emergency that you may have to reach out to all of them or tell them stuff as your own association, but if you don't have it, you can't tell everybody. If you only have 3 numbers out of your 100 homes, then nobody is getting to the 100 homes.
Okay, so we already have that. Okay, thank you
Right.
for clarifying that. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Right. In other words, we'll send them out to you leaders, and then we'll depend on you leaders to get them out to the communities that y'all lead. And so it's not like we just want to make sure everybody gets the information, as it's not designed for us to have this or try to collect anything of that data. I mean, we can go purchase them if necessary, but that's not even the case. It's like we want this to be an all buy-in type of deal and situation, particularly that there's HOAs that are not as engaged, and some that they only deal amongst themselves, and which is kind of unfair is that, but we just like the community to have all the news despite of anything that's going on, because it's pertinent and will affect them. And so we would love to have the owner occupiers, but in this case we don't know is everybody would need it. And so services are needed to everybody, whether they own or rent. And so because we are a
That's true.
community and we are here, so we just want to everybody have a fair deal, and have all the information that they can possibly have, so we can all have a quality of life, and enjoy it. Well, look here, that is the Zoom link to the planning meeting that just got posted in the chat. Just
Let me
click
look at
that, copy that, right, and then get on it. So I do thank all of y'all for joining us again. So I appreciate y'all, and y'all are the best part of the city of South Fulton. And I love you, and you can't do nothing about it. And stay positive and keep smiling. The future is bright.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves, Councilman Reeves.
All right, no problem. Thank you. All right, have a good evening.